All right, guys, so coming up, here we go. Coming back. Coming back from the break. YouTubers, Facebook, Global Sports Broadcasting Network. Here we go. All righty, welcome back to Global Sports Broadcasting Network. This is Cornelius Brad on Hanna Time, listening live on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and right here on Global Sports Broadcasting Network.com. Let's get going. Let's get right to it. Lots going on. A lot's going on right here on this big sports day on March 17th. This was supposed to be March Madness. It's been madness around the globe, but also in the NFL. It's been madness around transactions of players' trades, free agency, and it's all going down this week, giving the sports world or the NFL world some life to an average or above average sports fan that needs something as they're trying to get through all this chaos. All right, let's get to it. I've been saying this for a while about Tom Brady. I always felt Bruce Arians and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers would be a good fit because of Bruce Arians' connection with quarterbacks that are, well, basically older quarterbacks or young quarterbacks, but he has a way working with quarterbacks. And Tom Brady makes Bruce Arians' job that much easier. Is Tampa Bay, not Tom Brady, the same initials, TB to TB, is very possible. But no, it may not still happen that way because of the Raiders, the Colts. Still don't know who's out there. I have a sleeper in all of this, and I'll tell you in a minute about Tom Brady, who has announced that he's saying goodbye to the New England Patriots. We'll talk about that in just a moment. We're going to talk about the Arizona Cardinals, who made a big trade that I told you about over a week ago that was going down. I said that the Cardinals made a big trade. That was last Monday when I announced that. But I was aware that the trade was done a week earlier than that. Got a lot of heat from it because it didn't go down right away. And I said, it's coming. The trade was done, but it was big, 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 big. And guess what? Big. You get Hopkins in the desert. Nobody saw it coming. I didn't know who the name was. I mentioned I did not know the name because I was protecting somebody else. That's what I was saying. The details of this trade was private. I made a promise not to expose anybody who told me, but I did say the trade was going to happen. It happened. I should say gonna. It happened. When I announced it last week that the Cardinals made a big trade, they made a trade. I announced they made a trade. Let's get that clear. Nobody was reporting that. But I'm grateful for somebody that is so close to the Cardinals gave me that information. We'll get more into that in a little bit. The NFL Player Association agreed with the owners on the new CBA. There will be 2 more teams in the NFL playoffs next season, 1 in each conference. That is great. I like that. Also, 17-game schedule the following year, and the veterans, the former players who are suffering will now get a bump, a nice compensation bump in retirement and medical and support, insurance, like financial stuff that they are desperately needing. Great news. This is probably the best CBA agreement between players and owners in a very long time. At this point, it looks fantastic. We'll get into that a little bit later, but not in much detail. All right, now let's get back to Tom is gone from New England. Whoa, what's going on in New England? It's blowing up in New England. It's over. Players are leaving. Free agencies everywhere. Tom Brady announced, I wanted to say thank you to all my incredible fans, Patriot supporters, Massachusetts has been my home for 20 years. It was truly been the happiest 2 decades I could have envisioned in my life. I have nothing but love and gratitude for my time in New England. The support has been overwhelming. I wish every player could experience it. My children were born and raised here and always embrace the California kid as your own. I love your commitment and loyalty to your teams, and winning for our city means more than you ever know. I can't thank you enough for the support of our team. The packed training camps, the sold out stadiums, and mostly the victory parades. I have been so blessed to share them with you all. Tom Brady. He further says this, Tom Brady, leaving, saying goodbye to New England. I try to represent us always in the best and the most honorable way and fought hard with my teammates to help bring victory and triumph even the most dire straits. You opened your heart to me and opened my heart to you. And Pat's Nation will always be a part of me. I don't know what my football future holds, but it is time for me to open a new stage for my life, for my career. I thank you from the bottom of my heart and always love you, what we shared. A lifetime full of fun and memories. Tom Brady announcing that he will not return to the New England Patriots. It is over. Done. New England, time to rebuild. Also, talking about Tom's next team, the Buccaneers are the one that seems to be ahead of the class. The Buccaneers have been pushing hard. Rumors swirling around this. I kept the Buccaneers as a dark horse months ago, but now they're like the popular team where he'll land. I still think the Raiders are right there. They're close to California, close to Hollywood, close to his hometown of San Francisco. It's not that far from the West Coast, right? So the Raiders are still around, beating around the bush, but they got Derek Carr. The Buccaneers don't. And the Buccaneers may be willing to spend the most money on Tom Brady. The Chargers, nice place, Southern Cal, Los Angeles. Everything looks great, but is the team fitting Tom Brady? I think the Chargers are another great spot for Tom. But are they ready to win? Who is a better team? Raiders, Chargers, or Buccaneers, if Tom is going to choose? I think the Raiders could be a great spot, but they got a quarterback. The Chargers don't have a starting quarterback at this moment, or a star player quarterback. They're a team that was in the playoffs 2 years ago. They were an average to below average team last year. They don't look like a team on the rise. Can Tom boost them 2 or 3 more wins, or does he do the same thing he did in New England? There are more weapons. There's more of a team in Tampa. The Buccaneers have they can score points. They scored points with Jameis Winston. Tom Brady doesn't have to do everything. Tom just has to manage the game, and he'll do a better job than Jameis Winston did. The Buccaneers are a good fit, but I'm going to give you 3 more teams. I know it's a lot, but I got a sleeper in my 3 teams that I haven't mentioned yet. The Colts are there because they have a great offensive line. They got a good defense, really good, and they have a running game. And the Colts, on paper, are a better fit than any of the teams I've mentioned so far. But does he want to go to Indianapolis? Dallas, yes, the Dallas Cowboys are a potential in my book for Tom Brady because Dallas doesn't have a quarterback. They are stretching it out with Dak. Maybe Tom is the alternative for a couple of years. Tom in a Dallas Cowboy uniform would just be blowing up the NFL. The hatred would continue. It's a good fit in somewhat, but Dallas fans would be ecstatic. Tom is older though. He's 42, right? So we got to remember that he looked like he was declining. So that is got to be considered. But there is a team that keeps popping in my head for what they've been doing over the last few months and what they've been doing, adding players to their roster, a lot of veteran players. They've been picking guys. They recently just picked up a New England Patriot linebacker. They got other linebackers. They got a head coach who came from New England. Have you figured it out yet? They don't really have a quarterback yet. They thought they did. They still may. He may be a great mentor for this young quarterback. We are talking about the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins are pushing really hard in the offseason with a lot of veterans. This could be the sleeper of all sleepers. I'm not predicting it. I'm just letting you know that Tom Brady in Miami, what Miami has been doing, nobody's paying attention to it, but they're restocking, they're rebuilding through the offseason that nobody's paying attention, and they really don't have the quarterback. And he could be a great mentor for a Josh Rosen. Just saying. Let's put it out there. Miami Dolphins, the big, deep sleeper for the Tom Brady potential. And maybe he has to just end up on Miami. I think Dallas is a nice fit. The Colts are a great fit. But Tampa is making the biggest push for what we know. Got it? Good. All right, more comments coming, and I see you guys. Stephen Harris, good morning. Jordan Phillips, I heard it, Todd. We'll get into that in a little bit. Nick Hanna, hey, Nick, yeah, you're excited. Maybe Tom Brady. Could be. I mean, Bruce Arians and Tom Brady would be fantastic, I think. Don, seeing there. Chris Rucker, hey, Chris, good morning. Don Breon, here you are, buddy. Here we go. We're getting into the Cardinal stuff here in a moment. Okay, I just want to make sure I see who's online. Get everybody involved. Martin in the house, Breon, Nick, Dak. Everything's going on. Did Dak sign yet with the Cowboys? Let me know. They re-signed Dak? Okay. So Dallas is out. Thank you there, Nick. Dallas is out in Dallas with Dak Prescott. Miami, I think Miami is a good one. Breon says Miami too. Nick says Miami. Wow, you guys are on my board here. Let's see. Very true. Old coach, former players. Yes, young Rosen, mentor. See, I hear it. I hear it too, guys. It just kind of like popped in my head the last few days. And today when I see that Van Noy, the former linebacker of the Patriots, just signed with the the Dolphins, I'm going, Miami. Could it be Miami? Why not? It's a great place to live. George in the house. Arizona, George. All righty, let's get into it. Cardinal fans, you had a good day yesterday. You're having another good day, Cardinal fans. The Arizona Cardinals made a big splash. I told you about the big splash last Monday, that they made a trade. Not they're rumored, not that the Cardinals were potentially the Cardinals made a trade, and I told you they made a trade last Monday on the show. I found out on that previous day on Sunday and reported it on Monday. I waited basically 24 hours, but I made it clear it was a big trade. Big, meaning big name involved. I did not give you the details because of what I was told, and I agreed upon it and protect my source, who was extremely close to the Arizona Cardinals. So I was nowhere going near it. But I was giving you the biggest story of the year for the Cardinals. At this point, it is. At this point. Because now you know the truth. Hopkins, man, is an Arizona Cardinal. Young. Still a prime time kind of guy. And it just blows up so much for the Cardinals in a positive way offensively because that's a serious, serious weapon. I mean, Hops can have 5 catches, but the fact that he's on the field and Larry Fitzgerald still catches the ball because Larry doesn't have to run deep. He does what he does. He just catches the ball. He doesn't drop. That's those two alone is just dynamic. Dynamic. The other guys are just going to have a role, a couple of nice big games because they can't pay attention to the third and fourth receivers now. Got to get a tight end. Got to get a tight end in Arizona. 3-year deal also for the Arizona Cardinals with Jordan Phillips. Jordan Phillips, the tackle from Buffalo, who had his best season last year with the Buffalo Bills. After, well, you got to realize he didn't have a great career. Down in Miami, great name. He was a stud, but he didn't really bloom in Miami. There was some conflict in Miami with him for playing time and other issues, and he got out. Got to Buffalo, and he shined in Buffalo. But Buffalo went out and drafted a nice defensive lineman last season in the draft. Did very well. So, a guy like Jason Phillips was expandable. Free agent. The Arizona Cardinals needing big-time depth and big-time stardom or just a really good, solid defensive tackle. Go out and get Jordan Phillips. This morning is officially known and announced that he signed a 3-year, $30 million deal with the Cardinals. So now the Cardinals have taken care of their wide receiver, their defensive tackle issue. So what is left for the Arizona Cardinals that they have now taken care of 2 pretty big spots that everybody was thinking about who they're going to draft in the 8th spot? Do not trade out of your 8th spot. Go get your stud offensive lineman right now. I've always said go get your offensive lineman no matter what. Time is now. Cannot waste any more time. Been saying that since forever, right? Everybody's talking about Cardinals and their offensive line issues. Well, you got to go get them now. Cardinals do not have a 2nd-round pick through the trade with Hopkins and the Texans. The Texans get David Johnson. I think David Johnson's going to be pretty good in Houston. Different player, different system, but he'll be happy. They want him. But the Cardinals had to give up a 2nd-rounder. So the Cardinals got to wait it out, right? Is that true? Right. The Cardinals got to wait this out to get what they want, right? So the Cardinals got to go get their middle linebacker, their inside linebackers. They have plenty of action on the outside. They're okay on the outside, on the edge. But the guys in the middle. Now you got your defensive tackle that you're believing is going to repeat what he did last year with 9.5 sacks. He was rated the 2nd best defensive tackle in the league, okay, last season. So you're getting a guy maybe ready to rumble and be in the prime of his life in the NFL. Jordan Phillips. Did I say Jason Phillips? Sorry, guys. I think I said Jason Phillips earlier. Jordan Phillips is now a Cardinal. So now the Cardinals can focus on 2 positions in their draft. Go get your offensive lineman and go get your inside linebacker, a young stud. Find them. And keep going defense from that point on. Go get your offensive lineman right now, Cardinals. 8th pick in the draft. Get him in. Get Wirfs from Iowa. He can play guard. He can play tackle. Guy's very diverse, very athletic. He can move. He's just a freak of nature. With the injury-prone offensive line Arizona Cardinals history, that guy could be a big plus for that offensive line. Will be. He will be. Go get him. And then from that point on, go get defense, defense, defense. Keep going. Keep going. Keep finding that cornerback. Go get your linebacker. Go get somebody who can rush the quarter. Go defense. You do not need a wide receiver in Arizona. Stop it. Oh, maybe we can get CD. CD. I'll give you a CD to listen to music. Okay, that's the best CD you're gonna get. You don't need them. Forget about it. Now the Cardinals may be like, because this is Steve Keim, and it gets weird sometimes with Steve Keim, and he hasn't done well with draft picks, and he sucks at drafting wide receivers. So they stockpiled the last few years of wide receivers. They haven't bloomed. They're just average. You got Kirk, who is average and has some good games. He may be better now with the addition of Hopkins. That's the plus. We'll see. But other than that, you failed at wide receiver drafting. You go get CD Lamb, excitement, power. Then you got four wide. You're gonna get Larry Fitzgerald, Hopkins, Kirk, and then you get CD Lamb, and there's your future young star studded wide receiver corpse. That would look beautiful on paper. It is really nice to see, and it's going to be helpful. Because I believe Lamb will be a nice, good wide receiver in the NFL. I don't know if he will be a top NFL wide receiver. We'll have to wait and see. But we'll have to wait and see. But that alone is scary. The thought is scary offensively for the Arizona Cardinals if you go get Lamb with the 8th pick. But then you're missing out on helping and saving and protecting your young quarterback, Kyler Murray. You got to help the guy out. And you need a running game. And if you can't run block better, you got to have some good games. You still don't really have the running game that was consistent. I mean, Drake was good last year, had some great games, but overall, is he the right fit? Was he playing for a contract? I think Drake is good for the Cardinals and a good fit for the Cardinals. And will do better. Does it improve their running game if you don't have run blockers? If you can't protect the quarterback, open holes consistently. This is my philosophy right now. And I've been mentioning it all last season for the Cardinals and for all the teams in the NFL. The success story is not your offensive explosion. It's not, you're going to score points. You just need a decent offense, an average, above average, and you're going to be okay. You could even be better. Obviously, you want better. You want to be a great offense. But the key is always going to be defense. And the remedy, the antidote, the antibiotic for all this crazy offense is defense. And if you look around slowly, there are teams that have been restructuring and rebuilding from the bottom up their defense the last couple of years, and those teams have been succeeding. Defense, defense, defense. The Cardinals don't have it. We'll have to wait and see what happens. It's a good start with Jordan Phillips, the defensive tackle they just signed. That's a good one. But they got to keep building it out. You don't want to see high-scoring game and hoping that you make a stop because your defense is average and just scary. And you're like, oh, come on, one play. Like, you don't want to live like that. You want to have a defense where you can look at them and go, we're making the stop here. We got the boys to do this. The offense of the Cardinals, like a lot of teams in the NFL, like 90% of them are going to score points. The average of scoring is way up all over the league. So don't get so caught up on offense. You got to make a stop. Because if they make a stop on you and prevent you to score or make you forced to kick a field goal and maybe you miss it, whatever, where are you? And where's your defense? They got to start coming up with the plays, and you don't trust it. Time to build in the NFL your defense. Time to make your defense the focal point because you got to have the remedy for those offense. Go get them. So the Cardinals, great start. Great start for the offseason. I'm going to personally believe that Cliff Kingsbury, head coach of the Cardinals, his fingerprints, handprints are all over this offseason. A lot of credit trying to get to Kynes, but you know his history. Why all of a sudden when Cliff Kingsbury shows up with one full year under his belt, understanding the league, I got a great feeling just hearing this guy talk, knowing what he knows, that he understands talent and he understands what he needs. And he's done a great job, I believe, so far. And I believe his hands are all over this offseason. I'm not saying 100%, but I'm telling you, his hands are in on this. You're all going to give Steve Keim all the credit. Stop. You can't forget. This is somebody else in Keim's head. Or Keim's thinking, I got to do something different. And I'll give Keim credit for that, for not being stubborn and so forth. But Keim and Kingsbury are very close. And they've got a great relationship, more than you know. I know this from what I know from my source with the Cardinals. They are very close. So that is a comfortable communication between head coach and general manager, which means the head coach will able to speak his mind and that the general manager, Steve Keim, is open and willing and listening and working together. This is what you're seeing in Arizona so far. This is not all Steve Keim. Now, I give him credit, or maybe he was told, listen to your head coach, maybe from the top. Maybe Mr. B Jr. said something. You know, Michael, say, hey, maybe all together. It doesn't matter. It's good news so far for the Cardinals. They picked up two great pickups in the offseason that it really, man, this is a different team already. It's a different team already. This is 3 more wins. This is easily an 8-win team right now. Everybody's going 10 wins. Relax. Now they're more like an 8-win team comfortably. Maybe 9. Maybe playoff team on the outside looking in or sneaking in, depending on how the season plays out. Long way to go for the Cardinals. They have a lot of draft picks ahead of them and more free agents. Money's getting a little thin, but off to a great start. Off to a great start. Now, Jordan Phillips needs to do his job. Because if he's a bust, oh boy. Yikes, right? But the guy had a great year. 9.5 sacks, career high. Let me give you his numbers, Jordan Phillips for the Arizona Cardinals. He had, over his first 5 years in the NFL, he had 15 sacks, 9.5 of them last season. Okay? 111 tackles, 14 pass deflections, and 27 tackles for a loss. Now, he's a defensive tackle. His job is, tackle, make plays like anybody on defense. But a lot of it in that 3-4 defense is to clog up the middle, stifle it, control it. But he's good enough to get by and make a play in the backfield, to make a sack. But you got to realize that in Buffalo, they had a really good defense in Buffalo, which allows defensive linemen to do their job and then go to the next level and get into the backfield and make a sack. Because their cornerbacks and their secondary are so good. They had really good linebackers, so there was a lot of time to get into the backfield. The Cardinals don't really have that yet, but it looks like it's better. Guys like Phillips make it easier to control the line of scrimmage, to allow the edge rushers more time to get in. for more stunting inside and outside. In a 3-4 defense, linemen are not supposed to really make sacks. They're there to control the line, allow your linebackers to get in between the open holes, get in the open holes to make the tackles or the blitz packages on the outside edges, too, freeing up. That's what Jordan Phillips is supposed to be doing. The sacks are impressive that he did it last year, and that will help. And you'll find him getting, I don't think he's going to get 9.5 sacks, but if he does, wow. They hit a jackpot defensive tackle for a while here. This we'll wait and see. All right, Cardinal fans, I know you're excited about it. Let me get down to you here, okay? Nick Hanna says they can slip into the playoffs with a 7-team expansion. That is true. A lot of teams. The Cardinals can do that. A lot of teams like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, what Tom Brady say, right? A lot of teams will now slip in. I believe a year ago, who was it that would have gotten into the playoffs? The Steelers, and in the NFC, it would have been, oh God, I'm slipping away here. But the team that was on the outside looking in would have gotten into the playoffs. But it also gives the other teams that much hope. So like the last few games of the season in the new schedule with more playoff teams involved, each conference gets an extra playoff spot. So now teams are knowing 8 wins in the NFL can easily get you in the playoffs. Now, I wouldn't say easily, but like it easily puts you right at the doorstep. 9-7 was like you got to get 9 wins. So with the new schedule, the new agreement, the playoff format changing, the 17-game schedule next season, Nick, the playoffs are going to be the playoff push. December is going to be wild. That's a great move by the NFL. Great move. Great move. More comments coming in. Melvin Gordon is a free agent. Somebody's going to need a running back. You need a threat. Todd Gurley is also being thrown around as a trade bait for somebody. There is going to be another big trade. There is too much going on right now. I'm going to go through all the other teams, and you're going to realize how much action has been going on and the names changing teams. The Cleveland Browns have made some big additions, folks. Big. But the Browns, we'll see again, but they're doing something different in Cleveland this year. More coming in here. Todd says a veteran quarterback and trade Kyler. I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're going to live with Kyler and see how far they can go with it. And that was their plan. And now they're trying to rebuild that. Nick says Cardinals need a new quarterback. I don't believe Kyler is the right guy. So Nick coming in, throwing out some heat. I still have to see if Kyler is the right guy. I believe Kyler Murray can make the playoffs, but I don't think it's going to be. I don't believe Kyler Murray is the quarterback that will take over a game. He'll make a play that will, like a Russell Wilson play, and everybody thinks he's taking over the game. Now, he's not going to be the Tom Brady's, the Big Ben's, a Phillip Rivers kind of thing. He'll have moments like that. A lot of quarterbacks do. Fitzpatrick does, and he's still looking for it. Well, he's still there. Still in Miami. But what I'm getting to is the NFL quarterback happy league, passing happy league is not a problem for a guy like Kyler Murray. So he'll be fine. But to get to the elite level, I still have to wait and see. We just got to wait and see. You can't just say that it's all going to happen now. Because Deshaun Watson is a really good quarterback. I think Deshaun Watson is a better quarterback than Kyler Murray. Can Kyler Murray at least get to a Deshaun Watson level? I think Deshaun Watson is better than Lamar Jackson. Overall quarterback. I think Watson is a really good quarterback in the NFL. passing, and of course he can escape and run. Kyler's got to get to that level still. There's signs of it, but we got to wait and see. Got to wait and see. The Cardinals are committed, and this is how it's going down. He's got more weapons. He's going to get more. There's no excuse, and we'll find out how this plays out for the Cardinals. So we're going to go back and recap real quick. Cardinals pick up Hopkins. I mean, one of the best, or some people say the best wide receiver in the league still. Cardinals get the top wide receiver in the NFL. Is that fair to say? You can say that. I mean, you can literally say that the Arizona Cardinals got the best wide receiver, talented receiver in the NFL. And now he goes to the Cardinals with an offensive system that could just play right into him. The fit is fantastic. Again, I remind people, a week ago, I mentioned that the Cardinals made a trade. That the deal was done. It was big. The Cardinals made a big trade. That was well over a week ago, right? It was the Cardinals. Trade. Made. Done deal. And everyone want to know, who was it? What was going on? And I said, I can't give you the details. But I'm telling you, and I guarantee you, the Cardinals made a big trade. Nobody had it. Because there's no way anybody had it. They were rumored with Trent Williams. They were rumored with Amari Cooper. Everybody was talking about everybody else. And I'm sitting there going, yeah, but I can't talk. I promise not to talk. But I was allowed or given say, hey, it's cool to say it, but don't mention names. Don't go into details. I did it. I did the right thing. I did the ethical thing. But a lot of people gave me heat over the Hopkins, well, not mentioning it, or that what I said was a bunch of BS, like everybody else throwing rumors out there. I never went there. But the fans, I get it. You want the Christmas present right away. You want to be able to do what? Get the answers right away. But these things don't happen overnight. And I said, give it time. It's going to get better as we get closer to the deadline when free agency begins. More news comes out. The agreement, finalization of it. It was done, folks. It was done. Matter of fact, I know this for sure. It was March 4th when my source found out about the big trade. And my source told me, again, the Cardinals are going to, I like what they're doing. They're doing some really good things. Be ready. I go, what do you mean? Just be ready. They made a big trade. Words. I just repeated what I heard. Be ready. Big trade. I'm happy. I know I like what they're doing. Give him a chance. This is the best. Like, he was ecstatic. I'm like, please tell me, because just trust me. Deal done. Trade made. And I reported it on that Monday, last Monday. Was it March 9th? And I saw a lot of nasty comments. I'm sorry, folks, but I don't hate you on it. But I know Cardinal fans are happy now. And hey, ever so often, a guy like myself will get an inside scoop. I'm not working for the NFL. I don't have the resources like a lot of these people have. But I do have contacts. And I do my best, and I talk, and I like talking sports and relationships. When you have relationships, people trust you, and eventually it happens. But my job is not to go dig for stories. I don't go looking and digging stories. I'm not looking for the scoop. Things like this, they just come to you and you go with it. I'm excited for the Cardinals. They have a future they got a guy that can be there for 8 to 10 years if everything goes well. He can do what Larry Fitzgerald is prolonging his career. And now Larry Fitzgerald probably is not going to retire for a few years. If I'm Larry Fitzgerald now, I'm going, all right. I finally I got my Bolden back. I got my Bolden. I got my counterpartner now. I got somebody, right? And now Patrick Peterson's saying, hey, man, just give me some love. Give me somebody on the other side, man. Because it gets quiet over here. So finally, Larry Fitzgerald, well over a decade, gets the receiver that he's been hoping to see next to him or on the field with him. Good for him. Awesome. Awesome for Larry, because now Larry is going to be happy. He's going to stick around a lot. And this is really a couple of more years. Now records are going to fall. He's going to inch closer to Jerry Rice. This is an easy take. It's an obvious take. Larry can change his mind and things can happen, but why not stick around and try to get that ring, Larry, with the team that you said you would never, ever leave for another team? Why not stick around for a couple more years and see how this Cardinal organization can figure it out and get back to the top and get a shot to make the playoffs and get a shot to win a Super Bowl? Offensively, the league is now scared. The Cardinals have weapons. Drake, Hopkins, Fitzgerald, and Kirk, a nice third receiver. When you go four wide out receivers, who's the fourth and the fifth? Those players are going to have to step up for the Cardinals now in the fourth slot. The Cardinals have a tight end situation that they need to address. The NFL has been pivotal on offense with the tight end. The tight end is everything in the NFL right now. Everything seems to be channeling through the tight end in the NFL. Everything. The play action, it sets up the running game, the short game. They can bust the tight end down the seam for a long pass, and you still got your wide receivers. But the New England Patriot way was the Gronkowski way. Without that Gronk in there, their offense was lost because they lost the middle of the field without Gronk. They never were able to recapture. When Gronkowski got hurt, they never had the middle of the field anymore. They couldn't find that guy. And then he retires, and you see what happens. But the tight end in the NFL is a huge part of all these offenses that you're watching every year now, over the last few years. The Cardinals need to go get a tight end, free agent that can fit to kind of maybe get it to next season to get your future young tight end, or go get a tight end in the first round. You know, the Cardinals may say, hey, we may just go get the best tight end in the 8th pick in the draft. You better hit on that. You got, because you can always get a good tight end in later rounds. It's been known. Okay? It's not a priority. Offensive tackle, offensive guard is a priority for the Cardinals right now. I like this so far. You enjoying this so far? All righty. More comments coming in. I appreciate it. I see you guys out there. We got Todd. Todd, spread the rumor. Good call. Nick Cannon says, Panthers just gave Cam Newton an option to be traded. Now, I don't know if Cam is going to stick around in Carolina. I think Cam Newton can still be traded somewhere before next season starts. And the fact that Nick just reported that the option for a trade is out there, maybe there's a trade building right now with Cam Newton, with another team. And who is that team? Who is that team that is maybe potentially looking for a trade with Cam Newton? I don't know if I want to go near Cam right now. He's been injured a lot. I don't know. A lot of people will jump on him. He'll be fine, but I don't know if he's going to ever be elite. We'll see. And who would take him? Who would take him? Who needs him, right? More comments coming in. I appreciate it. I got more news around the NFL. I haven't even gotten to it, but we're going to blow through it right now. Chris Rucker, man. Hey, man. I appreciate it. Thank you, Chris. If Tom goes to Miami, Gronk will come out of retirement and sign with the Dolphins. Yeah. Hey, you know what? It looks like Miami is slowly becoming the Patriots. Like a lot of the veterans or young players, I mean, if you haven't paid attention, they're showing up in Miami with their former Patriot coach, who's now the head coach of Miami, right? So Miami is the sleeper for Tom Brady, the deep, deep sleeper. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but the way Miami is building their roster and going after with trades and free agency, it looks like they are looking to win now, and they're going all at it, and they're not holding back. And the Dolphins, by getting Tom Brady, can just, why not win the division? Why not? The Patriots don't have a quarterback. Unless there's a surprise young guy like a Tom Brady did 20 years ago, shows up in New England or is there on the roster that we know of and just takes over with some growing pains, and the Patriots will be fine because Belichick and the system has always been the reason in New England. That is still the scary part of Tom Brady. System. But Tom Brady knows the system. And 20 years later, the system is something he can now elaborate with any team he plays for. And it's not going to be that much of a difference. Because Tom Brady basically was managing the game that Belichick didn't have to worry about. Belichick made some calls, strategies, but Tom was a head coach on the offensive side. Bruce Arians and Tom Brady together. Bruce likes to make calls, but he's going to have to allow Tom to be Tom. That's the part that I have to wait and see on if that happens. Down in Miami, he don't want to worry about the offense in Miami. He's got Tom and the offense that he's going to bring from New England in Miami. And Tom may like that. I'm hitting Miami hard because it makes sense. But it doesn't mean it's going to happen. And you're going to have to pay. Tom's going to want some money. All right, more comments coming. Hey, Chris Farina, I got you, buddy. Breon, man, I miss you. Love you, Martin. I saw you. Breon called Chargers and the Bucks. No one believed me. No Raiders. Breon says not the Raiders. Going to be the Chargers or the Buccaneers, Breon said, with Tom Brady. I think those are the two most popular ones. I really do. I think, Breon, you're right on with it. Don from the UK. Loving the great news for the Cardinals. Nick says, why would Houston give up on Hopkins? Hopkins just wasn't getting along with the head coach, O'Brien, of the Texans. Wasn't getting along. All right. More comments coming in, and then I'm going to finish up the show in the last 10 minutes here. Okay. Let's see here. Don't go after Cam Newton, and he's a head case. Don't go near Cam Newton. Don says, loving the show today, Cornelius. Thank you. Nick says, I got more news. I know as I'm speaking right now, there's more things happening. This is a wild time, guys. A wild time in the NFL leading up to the opening bell of free agency. Is there any quarterbacks deep in the draft nobody's talking about that could be the next Tom Brady? Oh, yeah. There are a lot of them. And don't be surprised if a team wants to trade out of the top 10 to build up a lot of draft picks. A team like New England says, hey, let me in. Let me in right now. I want one of these young quarterbacks, and there's a lot of them. Get me in. And don't be surprised that could happen. Now, New England's seems to be comfortable with a young backup they have right now. But I got to know where New England's going because they have lost a lot from those last few years of Super Bowl appearances and losing last year in the playoffs. They have lost a lot. And Tom Brady is a big one. But that was bound to happen anyway. It's a new era in New England. It's over. Gone. Gone. They got 6 Super Bowl wins, and I don't think they're going to see one for quite some time. That's the take on that one. As we're paying attention to more news around the NFL, let me go through something else for you here, okay? NFL news of all the teams. Let me run through these names for you, okay? Let me give you names that are on teams right now that you thought, like, well, weren't they just on that team? Yeah. Free agent or a trade was made. Let's run through it. We'll start from the top. The Arizona Cardinals. Transition tag on Drake, the running back. Larry Fitzgerald signs the new contract worth up to $11 million for 1 year. DeAndre Hopkins is now a Cardinal through the trade. Jordan Phillips, defensive tackle, signs with the Arizona Cardinals. Right then and there, those 4 names of Cardinals are stacked. Really, they did great. Cardinals. Atlanta Falcons. Tyler Davis, a defensive tackle, agreed to a 3-year deal with the Falcons. And the Falcons also get Hayden Hurst, the tight end, acquired in a trade with the Ravens. Let's move on. Baltimore Ravens. Guess what? They agreed to a 3-year deal with Michael Brockers, defensive tackle. Calais Campbell was acquired in a trade. Matt Judon, the franchise tag on their great linebacker. Matt Skura, the center. Okay, he was placed on the original round tender. He's a restricted free agent. The Ravens will not receive any compensation if somebody tries to match the contract of Matt Skura. Okay, Buffalo Bills. Mario Addison agrees with the terms. Stephon Diggs acquired in a trade from the Vikings. Josh Norman teaming up with the other stud on the defensive cornerback position signs with the Buffalo Bills. Quentin Spain, offensive guard. Buffalo, really good. How about Carolina Panthers? All right, they re-signed Kyle Allen, the young quarterback, did pretty good. Russell Okung, the left tackle, acquired in a trade for the Chargers. Okay, exchange for guard Trey Turner. Stephon Weatherly, defensive end. You heard about Cam Newton's situation. Chicago Bears, they signed Jimmy Graham, and Danny Trevathan, the linebacker. How about the Browns? Pay attention to the Browns. People sleeping on them. Jack Conklin, offensive tackle from the Tennessee Titans, has signed a contract to be the tackle for the Browns. Austin Hooper, tight end from the Falcons, the stud, has now agreed to terms with the Browns. Kareem Hunt, placed second-round tender as a restricted free agent. Still can be signed, but he's restricted. Case Keenum, agreed. Quarterback, agreed on a 3-year deal. Is Baker Mayfield on the hot seat? Dallas Cowboys, Amari Cooper remains there. Blake Jarwin, the tight end, resigns. Dak Prescott has placed the extensive franchise tag on Dak Prescott, the Dallas Cowboys. So he's gone. Denver Broncos. You heard about A.J. Bowie, cornerback. How about Graham Glasgow? Offensive guard, 4-year deal. Justin Simmons, the team placed him on the tag, the franchise tag. He remains. How about the Green Bay Packers? Christian Kursky, linebacker, 2-year deal. Rick Wagner, offensive tag. How about the Houston Texans? They just traded away DeAndre Hopkins, but they pick up Randall Cobb. They pick up a kicker in Fairbairn, or they re-signed him, I should say. Darren Fells, tight end. They re-signed him. David Johnson in the trade with the Cardinals. A.J. McCarron re-signs Bradley Roby. How about the Colts? They get DeForest Buckner in a trade with the 49ers. Okay? Anthony Costanzo, offensive tackle, signs with the Colts. Jacksonville Jaguars, I don't know what you're doing, but it looks like you're going to London. Okay? Kansas City Chiefs, Chris Jones, defensive tackle, franchise tag. Damian Williams, my MVP of the Super Bowl. They picked up his option. He remains. The Las Vegas Raiders, Kwiatkowski, linebacker, great pickup. Marcus Mariota is now a Las Vegas Raider. Chargers keep Eckler, the running back. Hunter Henry, franchise tag. They get the trade with Trey Turner, the offensive tackle. The Los Angeles Rams have no additions at this point. They've been quiet. Miami Dolphins. Here it is, folks. Pay attention. Eric Flowers, offensive tackle. They signed him. A great, nice pickup. Was with the Giants and then with the Redskins. Byron Jones, cornerback. Emmanuel Agba agreed to a 2-year, 15-year contract. Okay, he's an edge rusher. Shaq Lawson agreed to a 3-year deal with the Dolphins. Kyle Van Noy, linebacker, formerly with the New England Patriots. That's just the name of few in Miami. Tom Brady, in my eyes, may be on that list with the Dolphins. Maybe. We'll see. That's just my little deep sleeper. Vikings, CJ Ham, fullback. Anthony Harris, safety. Franchise tag. Eric Wilson remains. New England Patriots. They agreed to terms with Devin McCourty, their safety. They also got Matthew Slater. Joe Thurney, offensive guard. Franchise tag. So they're trying to keep some guys still. But they lost a lot. The Patriots. They didn't add anybody new to the Patriots roster at this point. They're losing more than adding new faces. The Saints re-signing Drew Brees. Defensive tackle, they re-signed their defensive tackle, Onyemata, who is back. The Giants, look for the Giants to make bigger news, but here's the big news for the Giants. James Bradbury agreed, a cornerback, agreed on a 3-year deal. Blake Martinez, formerly with the Packers, had a nice career with the Packers, is now a Giant. Leonard Williams, defensive lineman, franchise tag. And look for Clowney. Look for Clowney. The Giants are all over him. He's a big dollar guy, though. A lot of money for Clowney. But the Giants are going after defense, defense, defense. They feel their offense is okay, but defense. And if you noticed, they went cornerback, linebacker, defensive lineman, and they're going to go after Clowney too. And we'll see. If they get Clowney, the Giants are a team to reckon with in the NFC East. The New York Jets agreed to terms with a tackle named George Fant. The Philadelphia Eagles make a big splash, picking up nose tackle Javon Hargrave, formerly of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Nate Sudfeld, backup quarterback, Pittsburgh Steelers franchise tag on Bud Dupree. That was big. He had a great year last year. The 49ers re-signed Arik Armstead and Jimmy Ward. Okay? That helps their defense. But they lost Buckner. They lost a few players on that defensive line. Seattle Seahawks, Jacob Hollister, Greg Olson, Jaron Reed. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers at this point have done not much, but they kept two big names on defense. Jaquil Barrett and Jason Pierre-Paul remain with the Buccaneers on defense. I told you, keep your defense intact. Build your defense and grow it and make it something special, because that's the only antidote remedy for the offenses that you're experiencing in the NFL. Tennessee Titans spent a lot of money on Derrick Henry, franchise tag. Dennis Kelly, offensive tackle. They lost their tackle to the Browns, and they got one back with Dennis Kelly. Ryan Tannehill, great move. I like Ryan. He did well in Miami. He did really well with Tennessee. They got their quarterback. And finally, the Washington Redskins. Cornerback Kendall Fuller, contract, and a couple of nice names, Brandon Scherf and Wes Schretzler, the offensive guards, both of them. There you have it. That is the most recent stuff going on in the NFL. It's nuts. It's crazy. It's the NFL, the week of the NFL free agency opening bell. And we're going to get more news as more news is coming down. Okay. The last news is Carolina Panthers get permission from Cam Newton to trade him. The quarterback is unhappy. So he wants to be traded. Is there any takers out there? Cam wants to start. Where does Cam Newton start? Big question. We're gonna Cam Newton may have to wait this one out. Or he ends up in Los Angeles with the Chargers. Or he ends up in Indianapolis with the Colts. Or he ends up in, can we say, Tampa? Does he end up in Miami? We'll wait and see. But you're going to have to trade for him. Cam may have to wait. It's good. It may take something to happen in the offseason with injuries or something going wrong. But they may have to wait on that trade. We'll see what happens if somebody wants to jump in or if the draft selection doesn't go well for the Panthers and around the league with the quarterback situation. I know. I saw that, Nick, that the Panthers got blasted by Cam Newton, calling it he's unhappy. He's forcing the Panthers to trade him. He's forcing the Panthers to trade him. That's fine. That's fine. I mean, but it's not going to be comfortable, and he's not going to play. He's going to sit out, and this is all going to happen. Kyle Allen, they re-signed him. It looks like they're more satisfied with Allen, but we'll find out more. All right, more news around the NFL, and then we're going to close it out here. Some good news and some fearful times with everything going on. The NFL has got an agreement with the NFL Players Association on the new collective bargaining agreement, the CBA, to now expand the NFL season to 17 games that will start in 2021 and expand the playoff format to 2 extra playoff spots, one in each NFC and one in the AFC, which really changes everything. More opportunities, more playoff, a lot more excitement for average teams. Okay. More wild card. And the format, we'll talk about the format. We did it before. But there will be just one first round bye in the NFL, AFC, and NFC. Not 2 teams. Only one team, from what I understand, gets a bye. I'm going to have to read through it again. But that was what I remember and read, that one team gets a bye. Now, correct me if it's changed, but that's what I read, that one team gets a bye from the playoffs, meaning they don't have to play in first week. They're going to play the divisional playoff game and the championship game. So that's still intact. But a second team does not get a first round bye. And that makes more of an emphasis to have the best record in the NFL. It does. It really does. So I like it. I like the format. And we'll see what happens. We'll see how it plays out. The 17-game schedule with an extra bye week, the expansion of NFL team in Europe or the UK is highly possible now. Now I believe Jacksonville is on its way to London in 2021. 2020 is going to be the last year for the Jaguars. That's my take. I believe it's going to be announced at some point, and that the 17-game schedule, now that it's solidified, the NFL now can start working and processing, getting it ready for London. And if it's not 2021, it'll be 2022. But they don't have to wait They can do it this year if they wanted to and get it going. But the travel and the 17 game schedule and the bye weeks that are going to be implemented make more sense for 2021 with London being the next expansion team or the newest team in the NFL. That's my take. We'll see what happens. It's more good news about the NFL's player vote and the ratifications of the CBA is that the veterans, the retired players, the old players who are hurting, suffering, no money, barely surviving, TV dinners, in a small kitchen in a small little one bedroom apartment or a one efficiency studio room, kind of environment, or living in a retirement place with minimal money. It's sad. Now get a major boost financially. They'll get more money, like $50,000. They're going to get health benefits, a lot of hospital care, but financially and the protection of physical and mental and health issues that they are learning with and dealing with are big. And now they get a big boost, huge boost. And thank God for that. All right. Okay. Now, I'm going to wrap it up. I got to get out of here. I appreciate it. Love you guys. Great show. We'll talk more about this. A lot going on in the NFL. Baseball, the news, the coronavirus stuff. Relax. Just clean yourself. Take a bath. Shower. Dump some rubbing alcohol over your body. Do something. Just clean yourself. And knock on a neighbor's door and say, hey, do you need some toilet paper? Do you need some food? Okay, if you see an old lady or an old man and you know of them that live in your apartment complex, that that live in your neighborhood, knock on their door. I know it's scary, but check on them. Maybe leave a note in their mailbox or something, giving your phone number to them. Say, hey, please call me if you need me. I'm here for you to help. Because a lot of these old people have nobody around them, and now they're trying to survive on their own. There are a lot of single, retired senior citizens that are old, living by themselves. Pay attention. I know you don't want to get them sick or they're afraid, but find ways to communicate and reach out. Now, I believe that we'll be fine. Give it time. It'll be fine. All right, guys, let's get out of here. I appreciate it. I love you guys. I tell you what, this has been a fantastic day, a fantastic show. I appreciate it. YouTubers, thank you for so much for popping in. Appreciate it. I appreciate it. My friends on Facebook, thank you so much. Share the show, replay the show. I'll repost this live show later on today. Love you guys. Have a great day. Keep loving your heart. Share it. And look out for each other. And relax. Relax. Just relax. Hey, Joel. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you guys. See you soon.